Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the resumption of the May meeting. I'd like to commence with the welcome. Wodonga Council acknowledges Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people as the first inhabitants of the country and as traditional custodians of the land. We respect their ancestors, elders and young people and recognise their continuous connections to lands, waters and communities across the country. Thank you. We don't have any apologies. Do we have any requests for leave of absence? No request for leave of absence. We have one request for attendance by electronic means. Councillor Simpendorfer has requested. Do I have a motion for that, please? Councillor Lowe? Councillor Chamberlain? No reason for debate. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Welcome, Councillor Simpendorfer.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Thank you for that vote.
Do we have any declarations of conflict of interest since last week? There being none, let's move straight into the business at item 7.19, Recreation Facility Development and Maintenance Policy. Do I have a motion? Councillor Lowe, your motion is?
Yeah, as per recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Hall, Councillor Lowe.
I think the report speaks for itself, and it's about updating our policy and having it noted. Thank you.
Councillor Hall.
I'll reserve my right.
Any other councillors wish to speak? Councillor Hall.
No, I have nothing to add to that.
Councillor Lowe. Nothing more to add? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. The next item is the review of instruments of delegation, item 7.220. Do I have a motion? Do I have a motion? Councillor Chamberlain?
Yeah, as recommended. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Quilty. Councillor Chamberlain.
Fairly straightforward review of the instruments of delegation. We have to do this from time to time. At this stage, I think we'll support this as recommended with the changes. Thank you.
Councillor Quilty.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Not much comment from me. Basically, as I understand from the report, it is a bit of a review of delegations to respond to the movements in the staff. I don't have any objections to what the recommendation suggests, so all good from me. Thank you.
Any other councillors wish to speak? Councillor Lowe.
Yeah, just echo my fellow councillors' words. It's one of those reports that since I've come on council in both terms, comes up quite regularly and is reviewed by all councillors over and adjusted as needed. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillors? Councillor Chamberlain.
Yeah, nothing to add. This is a fairly lengthy report, as they always are with the instruments of delegation, but for the most part, fairly straightforward. Thank you.
Put the motion. All those in favour? Unanimous. The next item is reports for noting. There are none. Reports for information. Council plan progress. Any councillors wish to speak or talk, call anything, ask questions about that? No. Next point, 9.2, record of council meetings. No matters. Decision register. I have one question in regard to the decision register, and it relates to the first item with the Jacob Group of companies. We note that the project, the projects for a planning scheme amendment and planning permit application, and for a report back to council. I'd put the question through Mr. CEO to Director Schultz. Just could he give us an update as to exactly where we are with this project? Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I could please, the project is now referred to as the Employment Land Sensitive Interface Assessment. Comprises of 3 particular stages. Stage 1 is the development of a background report that's been completed. Stage 2 is the development of a number of technical reports, including car parking and traffic, noise assessments, light spill, and an analysis of some industrial urban design. Stage 2, final comments have gone back to the consultants who are working on the project, and we are anticipating a final stage 2 report within the next 2 weeks. They will then produce the final report, stage 3 of the document, which is the implementation plan, with a proposal to brief the councillors probably within the next 4 weeks. Unfortunately, Mr. Mayor, we have lost our project manager of the project, so we'll be skilling up 1 or 2 staff in the short term to assist us in bringing this to some finality, and we're certainly hoping that we'll get a report through to the councillors in June or July.
Thank you. No further questions in relation to the decision register. There are no notices of motion, and there are no petitions. Any general business? Councillor Chamberlain.
Yeah, just since the last meeting, and this is something I couldn't have brought up at the last meeting, was our volunteer evening last Friday night, which was a great success. There were a number of wonderful people on the terrace at Hyphen. Volunteers, by definition, are wonderful people. They're very selfless, and the people who received awards were just a small percentage of the people out there who do wonderful work as volunteers. And I just wanted to show my appreciation for them, and it was a very good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillors? Okay. I'd like to take this opportunity on a more sombre note to acknowledge and recognise the contribution to our community from a stalwart of council meetings who turned up to just about every council meeting we've had for a lot of years. A lot more than any of the councillors around the table, and that's Jim Costello, who passed away recently. He was a stalwart of this community in so many different ways. He was an extraordinary man. He was involved in just about everything that this community could put together in one form or another during his life. He joined the Wodonga Brass Band in 1948 as a 12-year-old and played with the band essentially continuously until a few weeks before his passing. He was much loved. He was a very well-learned man in relation to the history of Wodonga, and very specifically the history of Wodonga Brass. And he will be sadly missed at all of our council meetings. So thank you to Jim Costello for a life well lived and large contributions to this community. Urgent business? There be no urgent business. We move to confidential business. Can I have a recommendation or have a motion to close the council meeting for the confidential business? Councillor Chamberlain, Councillor Hall, Councillor Chamberlain. I put the motion to go into confidential. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. We'll resume after the confidential to speak to Thank you to those people at home that hung around while we continued to deal with the confidential issues. I'd like a motion, please, for the adoption of the recommendation or the motions in camera. Councillor Poulton, Councillor Hall, Councillor Poulton. I put the motion. All those in favour? Carried unanimously. Mr. CEO, would you care to read the motions that are public?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. In relation to item 14.2, Albury Wodonga Aquatics Facility Management Contract, the public component of the recommendation and the adopted resolution is that, subject to Albury City Council endorsing the continuation of a joint management approach, Council commenced the preparation of the procurement and tender process for a 5-year contract as a joint management approach with Albury City for the delivery of the aquatics management services at Wodonga Sports and Leisure Centre, Wodonga Aquatics Venue and Exercise Space Waves, Albury Swim Centre and Lavington Swim Centre. In relation to item 14.3, development of CBD West, consideration of proposed amendments to the Section 173 agreement, Council has resolved in the public component of the recommendation. The Council supports and agrees to the proposed amendments to the Section 173 agreement relating to 41 to 43 Adjourned Boulevard and 26 Stanley Street, Wodonga. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. There being no other business, declare the meeting closed. Thank you.